that drip shit, you know.
Hey YouTube, it's your host Taya J, and I am back with another episode on the Glow Talk, where we are glowing and growing. And on today's episode, I have a very special guest. He is a chef and licensed caterer by the name of Stefon. Stefon, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Great. I'm doing great. So says Stefon. For the people that don't know you, don't know who you are, can you give us a little insight, of who you are, what you do?
Yes, absolutely. So I am originally from California.
Okay.
I'm a chef and licensed caterer. I do private events, weddings, parties, birthdays. I've recently relocated to the DFW area.
Okay.
I reside in Fort Worth. And so I've only been out here for a couple of months. And so I'm just trying to get my bearings and everything like that. I'm also on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Okay. I'm at The Soul Chefs.
Okay.
And I'm working on creating some new content for all three of those platforms right now.
Yeah. Yes. So you said you relocated from California to the DFW area. How do you like Dallas so far?
So far, so good. I think the only thing that has gotten me, being from California, and especially the region that I'm from, we don't get a lot of snow. So it snowed here, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, what's going on? You know? The weather can be a bit unpredictable. But other than that, it's been great so far. It's been great so far.
Awesome. That is awesome. I went to I've been to California, but I was like really young, so I fairly don't, I don't really remember it. I have like bits and pieces of memories from going there, but oh my gosh, how is California? Like, what is California like?
So they definitely call it the sunshine state for a reason. So there's the sunshine, there's the beaches. In Southern California, you have Hollywood, obviously, which a lot of people gravitate toward. You have the Central Valley, which is where I'm from, which is agricultural based. So a lot of the fruits and vegetables and dairy products that you get may come from California.
Oh, wow.
That you find in your local grocery store. And then you have Northern Cal, which consists of the Bay Area, San Francisco, those places. And then you have far north, which is the Redwood County and, going into the mountains and the snow. So California is, it's absolutely a really wonderful place to be. It just really is. And, sun's always out for most of the time. And, people are like, Californians, they're just always in such a good mood. Nothing bothers them. And it's just the truth. Nothing really bothers us. California is great. The only thing that bothers us is the cost of living. But other than that, California is wonderful.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And, growing up, you watch the movies, and it has California, or, it's when you're based in California.
Right.
It's like, is California really like this?
It really
California.
It really is. It's a true life depiction. And if you were to go to like the Los Angeles area, which is huge, so and then you have all those cities within the LA County area, just the beaches and the celebrity sightings, and there's so many tourist attractions. There's so much to do. And I've lived in California, 31 years.
Wow.
And after 31 years, you still don't run out of things to do. You still don't run out of places to go.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing. And, you go to other states and it's like, oh, I've been here, okay, I'm kind of bored, I want to move. But to hear that in California, you never run out of stuff to do for however long you're there, so that's amazing.
And it's wonderful. It's just really great. And if you're really a beach person, and you can't be from California and not be a beach person, California has so many beaches, just up and down the coastline, and it's a beautiful place, very beautiful.
Look, y'all. Your girl's probably gonna have to go to California because sun, beach, and just just really living life.
And great energy.
Great energy. Yes, that's all. Yes. Look, y'all. We're gonna have to go to California, y'all. We're definitely gonna have to go.
Get there. I'm trying to tell you, get there. Plan your next vacation.
Yes.
Go anywhere. Go anywhere in California. I'm telling you, it's great. It really is.
Definitely gonna have to check it out. Of course, after all this pandemic stuff is over with.
Absolutely.
Yes, definitely after all this is over with. You're a licensed caterer. What is the name of your business?
So the name of my business is The Soul Chefs. THA Soul Chefs.
Okay. What inspired you to name it The Soul Chef?
Okay, so a lot of people hear the name and they think that it's soul food related, right?
Right.
And it is not. What inspired that is I wanted food that really just catered to the soul. And what I've experienced with my cooking in particularly is that sometimes it will render an emotional response out of people. And, you know, now the history of soul food, you know, it being just a tool that we used to come together and to love on one another and to express our love and our appreciation. But also, too, you know, I've come across so many people that have eaten my cooking and they're like, wow, I haven't had this taste like this since my grandmother made it. Or, you know, oh, that was my dad's favorite thing. And, you know, it'll really take people back to this place and time where everything was okay. And, you know, so I'll find that people get emotional and I'm just like, you know, that's really, you know, what I want to do. Like, I want to create an experience that not only caters, you know, to the nourishment of the natural body, but the soul as well. So that's where the name came from.
Wow, that is deep.
I know. Who would have thought with food, right?
Right. No, but seriously, when you think about it, what you described about when you eat a certain dish, it's like it reminds you of, man, I haven't had this, you know, since my dad passed or since so and so passed.
Absolutely.
You know, so that, like, wow, that a great play on words and great play on.
I know. It just takes you back to a space and a time.
Right.
Like, you know, I remember I was in Northern California and I went to a particular restaurant and all they served was fried chicken and spaghetti.
Wow.
So the spaghetti reminded me of my grandmother's spaghetti, which I probably hadn't had in like 20 years.
Wow.
And I sat in that restaurant and I was like, this tastes familiar. I've tasted this spaghetti before. And I was like, this tastes like grandma's spaghetti. And I mean, I just felt so warm and so overcome with emotion as well. But I'm just like, wow, like I must have went to that place once a week.
Wow.
Just for the spaghetti, and, you know, and for that nostalgia, and I'm just like, wow, you know, like, you know, my grandma's spaghetti is great, so it's like, it's like, wow, this is about as close as I'm going to get to it, so, you know, something like that.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so dope, and the name is so unique, and especially hearing the meaning behind it, it makes it even.
That kind of brings it full circle.
Yep, it brings it full circle, makes the whole situation even deeper. What got you into wanting to be a chef?
Now that's going to be a funny story.
Okay.
So I grew up cooking. I learned to cook from my mother, my father, my grandmother. You know, I come from a family of people that they get down in the kitchen, right? I had no interest in doing it professionally. My best friend, her name is Leah. We met. I was in a difficult place in life. I was transitioning out of some things. And she goes, word around town is you cook. And I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, we've kind of been doing this best friend thing for 2 years, and you haven't offered to make me anything. And she was right, because we would travel and we would go places and, you know, we would meet up at restaurants and different things like that. There was, you know, never a reason for me to cook. You know? So she goes, well, I think her mother was having, I think the first year the Golden State Warriors went to the championship. So she was having, you know, a party and stuff. And she goes, do you know how to make gumbo? I'm like, yeah, I make gumbo. So she tastes the gumbo. Oh, mind you, she doesn't like gumbo either. She does not do seafood. She doesn't like seafood. So she was like, my mom wants gumbo. She was like, I don't really like it, but you know. It's So she was like, let me try this gumbo. She tried the gumbo and she was like, oh, you cook. we're gonna start a business.
Oh wow!
And literally, that's how it happened.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's awesome.
And
that is amazing.
I had no, I've worked in the mental health field for 13 years. So that's what I was doing. I had never even thought about pursuing cooking professionally. So, it was quite a turn of events.
Wow. It's so funny how certain people in your life that has been around for years just bring something out of you, and it's like, wait, where did Steve come from? How did we get here? That is so dope. Shout out to his friend who got him being a cook and a licensed caterer at that. Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Leah. Love you, best friend.
Yes. Speaking of your cooking
yes.
and the dishes that you make, what has been your most favorable dish to make?
My favorite dish to make? You know what? Because of where I was located, gumbo was probably my favorite dish to make. Because just where I'm from, we don't get it a lot. It's not, something that everybody knows how to make.
Right.
So when you find a person that knows how to make it and make it right, you want them to make it all the time. Okay. And I cannot tell you, I just felt like I've made thousands of gallons of it over the years. But it's one of those things I enjoy making, but simply because so many people love it. And so many people enjoy it. Yeah. So, for that reason alone, I do favor the soul food Creole style end of cooking. I'm kind of getting away from that to show people that I possess more of a broader skill set. But, I'll never forget where the roots are, of course.
Right. Would you say that is more your specialty when it comes to the dishes that you make, or do you have another type of food that is like, oh yeah, when you go to the Soul Chef or you get food from Soul Chef, that's his specialty, that's the dish you want to get?
You know what? I will say this, and I'm trying to say it with as much humility as possible.
Okay.
Because I don't want to come off boastful, right?
Okay.
But one thing I pride myself on is consistency. So whatever you get out of my kitchen, prepared by my hands, you're going to feel like that's the dish. You're going to feel like that's what you came here for. Now, what was popular where I'm from in California, people love the fried fish. They love the gumbo. Just the good old soul food classics. Right. They loved it. You know what I mean? I think it's safe to say that I did those things well. However, I on a personal level feel like, because there's things that I feel like I'm great at that I haven't gotten an opportunity to share, right, on a broad scale. Okay. So I feel like what my specialty is consistency. Okay. Through and through, no matter what you try. Whereas somebody else might be like, boy, just give me the gumbo so I can go home. or fry that fish so I can leave. Right. You know what I mean? Right, no. I think another thing, though, that's really popular is my Alfredo. People love it. They absolutely love the Alfredo.
That's funny you say that, because yesterday I was craving pasta. I was like, I want some pasta, like some Alfredo type pasta. Yeah. Craving it. That's funny you say that.
I'm a pasta lover. Italian food is my favorite food to eat.
Same here. Same here.
I love
Italian food.
Love it. I cannot get enough of it. The red sauce, the pasta, and the pesto, and that's the good stuff to me. That's a good day if we can get some. Yes. I'll even settle for Olive Garden. You know what I mean? If I can get to Olive Garden, it was a good week.
Right. Olive Garden is look, y'all might be going to Olive Garden after this is over with. Right. Olive Garden is so good to me.
It's clutch. It really is. It's really clutch.
Okay. Consistency. You spoke about consistency. Yeah. And that being your specialty, which we don't think that's boastful at all. That's definitely key when it comes to business and when it comes to especially in the field that you're in.
Yeah.
Cooking. Consistency is the main thing.
It's everything, right?
Right. Speaking of consistency, in your opinion, how important to you is it to have consistency in a business, in any kind of business?
So it's really important because consistency is really going to determine the projection of that business. And it's also going to be the determining factor of whether or not you have longevity in your craft. So it's just really important. I want the same quality from start to finish.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to know that my first bite is going to be equal to my last bite, and then every bite in between. So consistency is really, really important, because how many times have we gone out somewhere and maybe Monday was everything we needed it to be.
Right.
And then we get there Thursday and it's like, oh, that was rather disappointing.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
no, I understand. Definitely.
Yeah. And it's and you can tell which businesses have mastered the art of consistency. Because the lines are typically wrapped around the building.
Okay.
And I'm not meaning that the food has to be good, because we all have our different idea of what good food is, right?
Right,
Or
exactly.
just quality anything, right?
Right.
Paper or anything as simple as a pen. Like we all have our different idea
Exactly.
of that thing.
Right.
But it's the consistency is going to build your customer base. It's going to build your audience. And it's going to determine how much of an asset you are. Because if people know that you're consistent and that you follow through, and you know, they are more likely to seek you out, to find you, you know, to want your services.
Right.
Because it's like, you know what, I hear that this person has never had a bad day. You know, let me call, you know, that person. You know, how many times do we, before we go to a place, we check the ratings?
Yeah.
How many stars? We go through the comment section.
Right.
I know I'm that way.
Right.
You know, we go through the comment section. We try to get an idea of the establishment, especially if it's one we've never been to.
Sure.
Before we actually, you know, go in and spend our dime.
Right.
So consistency is important. Because if I go on Google and I'm looking at your ratings, and you got 1 star here, 5 here, 3 there, 2 there, 1 there, on average you got about 2.5 stars.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. No, I understand.
But if I go on and it's 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, and not a bad comment, I'm more likely to try.
Right.
Absolutely.
Very understandable, and that you're right. You're exactly right. You made a lot of good points about being consistent, about longevity, just how consistency can form basically how your business operates.
It's the make or break.
Yes,
it
the
really
make or
is.
break. Exactly. You're exactly right.
And especially with food, like I don't want to have a good batch of this on Monday and then on Saturday it's the worst thing. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna lose customer base that way.
Right. Exactly.
Especially because people don't play about their food.
Oh no.
That's one thing we do not play about.
No.
Okay, so you will lose clientele.
Yeah.
You will, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. We spoke about your favorite dish.
Okay.
Now, what is your least favorite dish to cook?
My least favorite thing to cook? Oh man. Okay. I know that I'm probably gonna lose my black card over this.
Oh my goodness.
I know I'm gonna lose it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna put it out there anyway.
Okay.
Macaroni and cheese.
Really?
Now let me tell you, people that eat my macaroni and cheese, because I have to make it because it's supply and demand, right? And it has to be good, right? People that eat it will tell you his macaroni and cheese is amazing, but they will also tell you that I hate macaroni and cheese. What? You wouldn't be able to tell by eating it that I don't like it. I don't care. I do not care for macaroni and cheese.
So is it that you don't like to cook it because you don't like to eat it, or is it just the process that you go through to make it that?
It's more so the first one.
Okay.
Because I don't like to eat it, I don't care for it, so you know, I never have a reason to cook it for self. But yeah, I just, you know, I'm like, yeah, macaroni and cheese. I know. Something as simple as that.
I was gonna say, that's interesting. That's wow. I've never heard somebody say, "Oh, I hate making macaroni and cheese."
I don't like it.
But
I don't care for it.
It's definitely like that when you don't particularly care for a dish to eat it, you don't really care to cook it because you don't eat it. You would never cook it for yourself. So like, what are you cooking it for? You know.
Right. Well,
so I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. For sure. You also do catering.
Yes.
With your catering service, how exactly is that whole entire process?
So I offer, I can do anything from a private chef. So let's say you want to plan a romantic dinner with your significant other, something as simple as that. Or I can go on the complete opposite side of the scale and I offer full service catering. So let's say you're planning a wedding, you want to feed 120 people and you need a full catering staff, I also provide that. Typically with that I'll do, hire for help, obviously.
Right.
But yeah, I can do full service to something as simple as meal prep. So I try to cover all bases.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Just depending on what the need is.
Okay.
I've catered for as many as 400 people at one time. Oh my goodness. And then something as simple as 2. So yeah.
So speaking of catering, you just spoke about the size that you've done. Was the 400 the largest crowd you've ever had to cater for, or has it been bigger than that?
So I will say this because I've done quite a few pop-up shops. But I think in a catering environment, right, just your traditional catering setting, 400 is definitely the largest.
Okay. How was that experience? Catering for 400 people.
Listen, nerve-wracking. I'm not going to sit up here and say that it was amazing. The outcome was amazing, yes, but the process was nerve-wracking. Going back to the consistency thing, it was just because you have to make sure that all of it, and just to give you an idea, so I had to do like 20 tri-tips, 400 pieces of chicken. Now we look at chicken, we're like, oh, but when you have 400 pieces of chicken sitting in front of you, it just seems like you're never gonna get through it. Wow. And you have to season all that chicken to where it's all seasoned thoroughly, and that it's all the same. It all has to be good. You can't have one good batch, one bad batch.
Right.
It's so that process was. I think that was that tested my level, my skill set, not only as a chef but as a businessman also.
Okay.
Because there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes other than the actual cooking as well. Especially in an event that large, you have to hire people. The grocery shopping is ridiculous.
I bet.
I know the grocery store, they get tired of me. They're like, this dude's always
I bet.
It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. So you just have to, it really, that was, for me, that was a defining moment of whether or not I could do this long term or not. And I was like, I can do it. It's doable.
It's definitely those huge hurdles. You get over those small humps, and then it's like you get presented with this huge task, and you're just sitting there pondering, like, can I really do this? Can I really do this? And it's when you make it over it.
Right.
It's so amazing. The reward is so amazing. Not just, the outcome of the situation, but personally, the reward is amazing.
Personally, you feel like you've hit such a milestone.
Right. Your confidence just goes up even more. So I definitely understood that comment you just made about, how at the end of it, it was so much that came to you personally from even doing that with a large crowd. Although it was nerve-wracking, the ending result was, like you said, it was amazing. So
yeah, because there's 400 people that are either going to love it or hate it.
True.
So
True.
And then also you look at each person eating as a potential client. 400 people in the room. And I will say from that event, I had so many events to follow. People just were like, hey, I was at the event when you did, and they run the whole menu down. They were like, I was at the event where you cooked A, B, C, and D, and I just wanted to know, and you have to know that every time you cater, it's also an opportunity for you to market and put your business in front of people.
Right.
People are always looking for food for events. That's one thing people are going to always need is food and shelter. So if you can do something that makes somebody's life better in that aspect, so I'm just like, okay, either I'm going to get 400 good reviews today, and that's the mindset you have to have, or I'm going to get 400 bad reviews today. Like, what's it going to be?
Right.
So, yeah.
Speaking of catering and catering for, large crowds, small crowds, all the crowds that you do cater for. Has there ever been a time where you were just like, I don't feel like doing this today, but that little voice in your head came in like, no, you have to get up and do this?
Absolutely. And more often than you think. Because I'm not just a full-time chef. I also have a 9 to 5.
Okay.
Like I said, I've been in the mental health field for 13 years.
Right.
So after you dedicate 80 hours or 40 hours a week to building somebody else's dream, you have to dedicate that same 40 hours to building yours.
Right.
And there are absolutely those moments where you just do not feel like it. You feel like the reward isn't big enough. You feel like the payout is not big enough. You just don't feel like you have enough time. Sometimes you second guess yourself. Even with something that you've done 100 times. Sometimes you'll be like, I don't know,
Right.
And there are those moments, but you have to believe in what you're doing enough to get past it. And you just always want to make sure that your motivation is at the forefront and that it's intact. Because sometimes it's going to be that motivation piece that gives you what you need to go out there and get the job done.
Right.
Thinking about the end game and the long picture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You do catering and you've lived in California.
Yes.
Have you ever done a catering job for a celebrity?
No.
No.
I have not, and I absolutely want to.
Okay. Speaking of that, who would you want to cater for? If it was presented to you, it's like, hey, I got so and so. Who would you want?
The Carters.
Really?
Jay-Z and Beyonce. I will feel like I have made it and that I have done exactly what I set out to do the moment I get that call from Jay-Z and Beyonce and they want me to cater something. That for me, that's the end all tell all right there for me. So, and that's been one of my aspirations. It might be shallow to some people, but that's been one of my aspirations since I've started. I want to cook for the Carters.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, look here, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Look here.
I'm not, my platform is still growing, but once the Glow Talk blows up and y'all run across this interview, make sure y'all hit up the Soul Chef.
Please.
Yes. Spam the Carters in the comments all over. Make sure you get the Soul Chef to the Carters. That is the goal for this interview.
Cook for them for free just to get them to the table.
For free.
You understand?
For free.
The first meal's on me.
Y'all heard them for
They
free.
heard me. They know
Go get your free meal, Jay-Z and B and Blue and the twins.
And the twins.
With the food that you cook, what all food options do you offer? I know you said you do meal prep. You can do, you do soul food. You do different stuff like that. So in specifics, what types of food do you offer?
Honestly, any.
Okay.
I can prepare it all.
Okay.
And typically what I will do is I'll customize. I have my running menu, just things that you can get on a regular basis. But I also will customize my menu as well, just depending on the person, the event, the style that they want. Which is I added bonus too, because you find that a lot of caterers and chefs, they don't veer off of their beaten path. But that is one thing that I do offer and that I do provide is customized menus, depending on who I'm serving. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Y'all need to go get with the Soul Chef. He's doing customized menus. Yeah. Yes, get with him.
And I had a couple request Indian food for their wedding.
Wow.
And I'm like, Indian food.
How was that experience?
Let me tell you, that was a educational experience because I have not a lot of experience at that time cooking with a lot of the Indian spices. They have different stuff going on.
Right.
So I took myself to a store in the area and I smelled them, tasted them, to familiarize myself, with how these spices because you can't just dump stuff into a pot, right? You got to know how much of what, because too much of something is going to make or break whatever you're making.
Right.
So I had to go and familiarize myself with these spices that I really didn't even know how to pronounce at the time. Okay, and however, and I also practiced the dish too, because there was like 4 months until the wedding. And I said, okay, because, you know, you can't just bust out with anything. These people are going to know if you're going to do what you said you could do. So, but let me tell you, it came out so great. And people were like, that is the best chicken tikka that we've ever had.
Wow.
And I was like, really? Because that is the first time I've ever had it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was, but you know, you're forever a student of your craft, right? So there's always something to learn, always something to gain. I don't feel like for a second that I know it all, or that I've learned everything that there is to learn. So that was a great learning experience. So now, you know, and because of that, that's something I can add to the menu. Like, just so you know, I do Indian cuisine too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, you know, it was a great experience. I enjoyed that process.
Wow, that is dope.
Yeah.
That is so, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that is super awesome. Would you say that was the hardest dish for you to make, or have you had another dish that was hard for you to make?
Was it the hardest dish for me? You know, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say yes. Simply because it had a lot of unfamiliar components, and there's not only are the flavors different, but there's also a way that you prepare it, right? So it was pretty much, because and then I had to nail it, because it was coming back to those make or break dishes, right? It was one of those moments that is either going to make or break these people's wedding reception.
Right.
They have 150 people in here, you know, coming to celebrate, and if you mess up on the main course, because you told these people you could do something that you've never done, you know, yeah. So I would say that dish, it was a little more difficult because of the pressure that was behind it. But you know, still, it's just amazing learning opportunity as well. In that, I was like, wow, this is great.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that sounds so amazing. Super dope. You do meal prep. What? Because I know meal prep can entitle different things.
Yeah,
you can do different types of meal prep. What all meal prep do you offer?
So it just depends on what you want. So if you're the type of person, let's say you're not trying to lose weight, you just need something at home and something that you can grab and go. Okay, well, we can do whatever. You know, if you like the more traditional meals, some people, you know, they like the salmon and the rice and the, you know, asparagus type of thing. But if you are healthy, I can also do healthy meals too that are high in protein. So a lot of lean proteins with vegetables, you know, some beans, different things like that. So yeah, you know, it just depends on you. You know, whatever you'd like. I have meal prep for myself, so you know, I would do like, for an example, one dish was at a New York strip with a sweet potato and some asparagus. And then I also did like salmon with Brussels sprouts, and you know, I would have like yellow rice or whatever. You know, so you can kind of, that's something you can kind of play with and have a lot of fun with too. And plus, you don't want to make the same thing over and over. I'm also the type of person, I don't like leftovers. So if I ate it yesterday, it needs to stay in yesterday. So, you know, meal prepping, it gives you the room to kind of be creative. You know, because it looks good, you know, you prepped it on Monday, but by Wednesday when you get to it,
it's like,
you better make sure you're still in the mood for it, otherwise you just wasted a bunch of money. So, yeah.
For anyone who is watching this interview, what are your prices for everything? So,
for your basic catering needs, right? My base is $15 per person. Obviously that comes with the full catering, so we're providing a meal, We're providing beverages. You have the option of having dessert provided.
Oh, wow.
You know, different things like that. So that's at the base. It can fluctuate from there just depending on if you want chicken versus lobster.
Okay.
Obviously, the price is going to increase,
exactly.
you know, from chicken to lobster. So, for a meal prep, I typically try to do about $8 to $9 per meal.
Okay.
Because on average, that's probably what you're going to spend per meal.
Right.
So I will try to offer packages too, because if you get stuff in bulk, it just tends to be cheaper.
Right.
So I offer packages. So, you know, it's like, okay, well, I can do, you know, 6 meals for you at the base price of $30.
Okay.
Versus if you just want 1 or 2 meals, okay, then it's going to be $10 a meal versus if you ordered it in bulk. And it came out to like $5 or $6 per meal. So, you know, yeah, those are pretty much the prices. When I do pop-up shops, depending on what I'm making, a plate can range between $10 and $15. You know, just depending what's on it. So,
okay, cool.
Pretty fair pricing.
I'm not ridiculous. That's not bad at all.
I'm not ridiculous. People tell me you should charge more, and I'm just like, people got to be able to afford it too.
Right.
You know, I don't want just the moral support. I don't want just the support, like people rooting for me. I want people to feel like they can come and be customers as well.
Right.
So, you know, you got to know what your market and what your region is, because maybe if I was somewhere like in Atlanta, then I could get away with like a $20 plate of food. But, you know, back in Fresno, California, it wasn't flying. That thing, if it's $20, it better drive you home.
Wow.
You know?
Okay. Well, look, everybody. Y'all need to hit up the Soul Chef before he does his catering job with the Carters, because once he gets his catering job with the Carters, the prices are going to skyrocket.
The game gonna change.
It's going to change. I'm trying to tell y'all.
I'm gonna be so unavailable.
Y'all better get rid of him before he gets that catering job.
I'm trying to tell you. Once I got Jay-Z and Beyonce on the resume, it ain't gonna be nothing you can say to me. It ain't gonna be nothing you can say.
Right.
My head gonna be this big. You understand?
Exactly.
It's gonna be huge.
No, very, very understandable. With you just now relocating to Dallas, have you officially started back doing your catering and your cooking and stuff, or is it still in a standstill, or what's going on?
No, I am currently in the process of creating new content.
Okay.
So I have not been out here long enough to actually even make people aware that I'm here. So I have a process for that. I have my social media platforms as well, and then obviously I'm gonna have to get out there and put in just some old-fashioned footwork. But I'd like to create content first, so that people can have a visual.
Right.
So when they go to my YouTube channel and my Instagram and my Facebook business page, you know, they can kind of get an idea or a feel. And that's part of why I'm also creating the new content, because I do want people to see, like, okay, he can do more than fried chicken.
Right.
And, you know, that sort of thing. If frying chicken is all you can do, as long as you do it well, that's not a problem.
Right.
However, I want to put out more of my skill set out there, so that people have a really accurate, well-rounded, you know, when they do start coming, and you know, so I just, you know, want to make sure that people get like a full, you know, because sometimes if you don't see what a person can provide, you don't think that they can. Right. You know, so you're like, oh, you know, that looks good, but that's not what I'm looking for. Right. So I want to have a lot of diversity, and so, you know, when I start uploading new pictures and videos and stuff of, you know, just some of my creations, my takes on the classic dishes, different things like that. That way people start getting a lot more familiar where I am, what I'm located. Right. And because we are in the middle of a pandemic, we are. I'm going to be offering virtual cooking classes. Wow. Absolutely. Inside scoop. I know, right? Yes. So yeah, I'm going to be offering virtual cooking classes. That's something that I'm getting ready to launch within the next couple of months. Okay. We're going to start from all the way from the basics, and we're going to do advanced. And just giving people that opportunity, because even if you're in an area where they might start the reopening process, maybe you still don't feel comfortable with going out. True. Maybe you just want to be precautious, you know. So giving people the opportunity to prevent that dining experience at home, you know, and then people have gotten more interested in learning how to cook.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, you know what? We're going to be offering some cooking classes, empowering some people. You know, people feel like, oh yeah, you know, like cooking is just one of those things that makes you feel good about yourself.
Right.
You can go in the kitchen and you can make something and everybody's like, oh, that's amazing. Like that does wonders for the confidence. You know what I mean? So making people feel that, you know, and I think it'll be something really positive that people can engage in, you know, even as a family, different things like that. So,
wow.
Yeah. We'll be doing the virtual cooking classes, so be on the lookout for that.
Yes, y'all be on the lookout for the virtual cooking classes. Have you gotten the plans and stuff all planned out? Because I'm trying to figure out what all is going to be offered in these virtual cooking classes. They purchase your virtual cooking classes. What will they be able to get from each class?
So from each class, they're going to learn technique. You're going to learn why we take the steps that we take. And then not only that, but you're going to increase your skill set. And how many people love macaroni and cheese but can't make it?
Okay.
How many things do you love but you just cannot make, right?
Exactly.
So we're going to stop that. You know, we're going to teach all of that stuff from start to finish. I love instructing. So, you know, I had somebody ask me now, why is it necessary to fry chicken at 350? And I'm like, wow, this is really stuff that I know that people just don't know. Like, you know, you ever fry chicken and you wonder why it's soggy? It's because your grease wasn't hot enough. You know, you know, there's things that you do, there's steps that you take that render the result that you want. Right? So you can make crispy, crunchy chicken at home. You don't need to go out to a restaurant to get it. You can make it at home. And you can keep making it. Once you learn how to do it, you can keep doing it.
So, it'll become second nature.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you know, we all want to show up to the reunion or to the cookout with something we can be proud of, you know.
Right, because if you don't show up with a dish that's going to hit everybody's stomach, you will be talked about.
You don't want to be the paper plate and ice cousin. You don't want to be that cousin that has to
want to be that cousin.
Bring beverages.
Right. Or you have to go buy the store-bought desserts. No, cook it at home.
You don't want to be that. And we're going to be learning like something as basic as macaroni and cheese, and then, you know, I'll teach how to make a peach cobbler. Everybody loves peach cobbler, banana pudding, and things. And then, you know, we'll even go as far as learning how to make lamb chops and you know, different things. So that's why I said, you know, we're gonna work this thing on out. We have our beginners, our intermediate, and our advanced, you know, different things like that. So when people inquire, you know, obviously I'll send out a survey to gauge where your skill set is and to place you in the appropriate class.
Nice. Yeah. With these classes, what will be the age range that is allowed to purchase these classes and be a part of the program?
So children can participate as long as there's adult supervision.
Okay.
And I mean like right there, adults to somebody that can provide hand-over-hand supervision. And then, you know, there's no age out limit as long as you can stand in the kitchen and perform. You are more than welcome to join in. You know, from the youngest to the oldest. So typically we get an interest in cooking around, you know, 7 or 8 years of age, and so you know, I would love to, even for children. That's what age I started paying attention. You know, I'm looking at my mom and my dad and, you know, my grandmother, and what are they doing?
Right.
Why do we do that? You know, you know what I mean. That's what my interest sparked in cooking. So absolutely, we encourage children. That's why I said if you wanted to do a family thing, you know, I'll have packages available just for families and different things like that, and just making an event and a thing out of it, you know what I mean? And it's also going to encourage and, what's the word that I'm looking for? Kind of encourage and promote, you know, that environment, just to have some camaraderie and positivity, you know what I mean? And it's something like, you know, oh, we got the Friday night cooking class for the family. You know, something that you can look forward to throughout the week, you know. Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm excited, and I don't even cook. Well, let me not say I don't cook. I cook, y'all. I make some really good macaroni and cheese.
See?
But no, I cook. cook, but I don't really have like the love for it. You
Mhm.
know, I'll cook when I need to cook, when I gotta fend for myself.
Right. Right.
But no, so
It's a
I'm
necessity type of
definitely
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Definitely excited to just see how it is, how big it is for you, what happens. Cause I know that is going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
That is awesome. I might be purchasing some classes.
Hey, you know, come and they're going to be very affordable. I'm not going to be charging an arm and a leg. Obviously, because I'll be doing it over Zoom or something.
Right.
So each individual person will also be responsible for providing their own materials.
Okay.
Rather, if it was a traditional setting, that would be something that I would provide,
Right,
including
exactly.
the cost. So, because it's not, you know, classes are going to be somewhere between $5 and $10
Okay.
per person per session. So very affordable.
Right.
You know,
very affordable.
Exactly. Very affordable. You know, I'm not going to be charging an arm and a leg. And just come in and have a good time too, and you'll be able to interact with people that share the same passion or the same enthusiasm, you know, that you do. So, you know, make those connections. Like, I can't cook either. Well, hey, nice to meet you.
Right.
Or I can't cook. I just want to refine my skills a little bit, you know. That sort of thing. You never know. People have their reasons. But, you know, come and be a part of something positive and, you know, something that's going to promote positivity and that you can, you know, walk away feeling empowered from.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I love that. I absolutely love that. I cannot wait. I'm excited already.
Thank
Like
you.
I said, I am so ready to see that. And when that launches, you definitely be on the lookout for a shout out from the Glow Talks. We will be shouting out for sure.
Yeah, we might have to do a follow-up interview or something.
Definitely,
you know?
definitely
Yeah.
going to do a follow-up. With everything that you do, from the mental health job that you work to being a chef to being a licensed caterer, what is your inspiration behind it all?
Oh,
and
man.
who is your inspiration?
What and who is my inspiration? My inspiration behind it is I want to leave a legacy. I don't have any children as of yet.
Okay.
But when that happens, you know, I want to leave behind a legacy, but not what I'm wanting to leave behind, but what I'm here to do now is leave people better than how I found them. Everybody that comes in contact with me, I want to impact their life in such a way that they leave my presence better.
Right.
I don't want anybody to ever leave my presence feeling drained, feeling unsure, you know, feeling neglected. I want you to leave my presence feeling empowered, feeling confident, feeling loved, feeling appreciated. And that is just my goal. You know, my goal is to leave people better than how I found them. To do that one person at a time, one interaction at a time, one engagement at a time. If the pandemic hasn't taught us anything, it's taught us that life is a vapor. It is short.
Yeah, definitely.
And the people that you have, the connections that you make, they matter. Because somebody can be here today and gone tomorrow. And appreciate people and love people and give them their roses while they can see them and smell them and hold them. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to be that way. You know, a lot of people, sometimes it's about what they can get. I'm definitely about what I can give. You know, like I said, with my cooking, I like to create experiences.
Right.
I want to take you to a place and a time that you just felt absolutely good about life.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You know, and that's what I strive to do. You know, I just strive to make a positive impact in my immediate surroundings and abroad, you know, as well too. So I think that is something that we don't have enough of.
Right, we don't.
Yeah.
We really do not.
So I just hope to leave people better. I just want people to be better when they leave me. You know, I want something that I say or that I do or an interaction that I have to make them, even if we never speak again after that, be like, you know what, that was a really pleasant exchange. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's moments like that restore and rekindle our faith in humanity. Because that's something so easy to lose. It's so easily lost these days.
Right.
With the way that the world is going.
Definitely.
So you have to, you know, people are still lovable. And you know, you can still reach people, you can still teach people, you can still empower people,
Mm-hmm.
and be empowered in the process.
True.
You know,
very, very true.
in the process. So it's, you know, I'm like I said, I'm forever a student. You know, as much as I can give, I have the capacity to receive. I'm not so high up on a pedestal to where nobody can offer me anything.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Wow, y'all, I'm blown away. I am blown away. That's deep. That's so important, and you're definitely making a difference already. Definitely making a difference already, just by the fact that you even have that mindset.
Got to.
You know, so definitely keep going, keep doing what you're doing, because you're definitely going to leave an impact on this world. We've spoke about what is your inspiration.
Yes.
Who is your inspiration? Who inspired Stefon to just get in the kitchen, start cooking, keep cooking, don't stop? Who is that person?
It's family, you know, it's friends. I want to be able to just do as much as I can for who I can.
Right.
You know what I mean? And, you know, a part of that is, you know, I do want to see my family have the best quality of life. You know, my parents are of retirement age.
Okay.
You know, and I've been talking to them about, y'all need to move out here.
Okay.
Simply because I'm the oldest child, and I feel like I can watch y'all better. You know, but I also want them to just have a quality of life. I want them to be able to see life through my lens, the way that I see life.
Right.
The possibilities. You know, it's amazing. And, you know, and for me to be able to say that even at a time like this.
Right.
You know, life is beautiful. And it is such a gift.
It definitely is.
It is such a gift, and it is one that we often take for granted. And, you know, I just want them to be able to experience life the way that I feel like it should be experienced. You know, full of love, full of laughter, full of those moments that just make you say, you know what? If I had to do this again, I absolutely would. You know what I mean? Even the hard part, you know what I mean? So that's my motivation. And for people that come into contact with me to also walk away with that same inspiration. I'm willing to help who I can in whatever capacity that I can. You know, so that's my inspiration, that's my motivation. And yeah, just giving people the best version of myself. That hopefully that brings out the best version of their self. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Like, we still talking about food?
No, seriously, like that makes a lot of sense. It's deep. It's
right.
You know, you don't find a lot of people that think that way. You know,
don't.
so I'm taking it back. I'm taking it back. You know, that's, you know, you're definitely doing the right thing. Like I said, keep going, don't stop, and especially the part where you said, you know, letting your parents see life through your lens, you know, letting them experience the life that you're experiencing, like that's so important. And that's, you know, a lot of people fail to realize when our parents get older, it's just kind of like, a lot of people are just like, oh, it's my parents, you know, whatever, that'll be okay, they experience life already. But as the kids, they have no idea what type of path we're going to go down, what type of path, you know, where we're going to go. The world is changing every day.
They do their best.
Right.
To lead and guide.
Right.
But ultimately our decisions are our own, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, like I said, they don't know what path we're going to go down. And if we do get to that spot of what is called success,
right,
it's important, you know, to bring them up like, hey, look, let me show you something different. You know, let me show you.
I don't want anybody that I love to just sit around and wait to die. You know, even as hard as life can get sometimes, there are some moments that are so full of beauty.
Yes.
And so full of resilience.
Yes.
And those are the moments that fuel us to keep going.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want anybody just sitting around with just waiting for the end. Live life. Experience life. Do not let it pass you by. Do not just sit and wait. Pursue a dream. Go after that degree, whatever it is. Go on that date. Okay? Have that self-care moment.
Right.
Do what it is.
Right.
Live life. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're so fearful of so many things. Rejection and, you know, just different things like that we don't even let ourselves live and breathe. Let me tell you something. I've heard more no's than I have yeses. You can't tell that by interacting with me, by talking to me. Even if you look at my life, you wouldn't be able to tell. You'd be like, oh man, like you're so fortunate. Let me tell you something. I'm fortunate because I decide to take lemons and I will make not only lemonade, but I will make lemon custard. Okay, I will make lemon pepper wings. I will do so many different things with those lemons. So it's like, you know, you just gotta. I don't want anybody to just think that life is just, you know, you're just sitting waiting and letting time pass you by. You know, I'm 32 years old and I just feel like there's still so much left. And I want to do it all. I want to see it all. I want to go to it. I want to, you know, participate in it, pull from it, give to it. Just live. Absolutely.
Wow. Yo, he is dropping gems, okay? Okay, he is dropping them left and right. I hope you guys have your pad and your paper and y'all are writing, you know, some of these things down because it's so insightful. You know, I'm not only am I learning, I hope you guys are learning as well because, you know, you have to look at life like that.
You have to.
And it's moments like this where you it triggers like, man, I need to do that. Like, you know,
because it'll beat you up if you let it. If you let it. If you let life come in and do its thing, it'll tear you up.
Definitely.
So you have to take charge. You have to decide you're gonna get in the ring with it, and beat it into submission if you have to. Now there's some aspects of life that we cannot control. There's just some aspects that we'll never be able to control. But the things that I can control, I will control it, and I'm gonna give it my best shot. I'm not gonna leave this earth without giving it my best shot.
I love that.
Period. If I never reach the level of success that I want to get to, as long as I know, you know, like they say, get rich or die trying. As long as a brother die trying. Then guess what? That's good enough for me.
Exactly.
It is.
No, I understand that.
Life is beautiful.
Definitely understand that 100%. Well, everybody, we are coming up on our very last question of the evening. And with that last question, I want to ask, if you could give one piece of advice to anybody who is interested in going into the mental health field, who is interested in being a chef, or even a licensed caterer, or just in life in general, what would that one piece of advice be?
I would say that when you get your foot through whatever door it is that you're waiting to walk through, make sure that when you step in, you are authentically yourself. Be the authentic you, because that's the dynamic that's going to make the difference. Specifically, what you have to bring to the table. You don't want to be a mirror of somebody else, mimicking somebody else. Be you. I want to know what you have to offer. I want to know what experiences you have gained. And love yourself on top of it. Be yourself, love yourself, honor yourself, and don't let anybody make you feel like you have to dilute yourself to be more palatable. Because when you're yourself, that puts you in the rooms that you need to be in. Versus, because sometimes we want to be in rooms that we don't necessarily need to be a part of. But if I'm myself and I just go through with my authenticity, I will be where I need to be. Because where I need to be is what's going to get me to the next level. So, okay, I'm here, boom, this is the door that's open. You know, and we only need one door, one opportunity. But you got to be yourself so that you're going through the right doors. I don't want the door that's made for you. I don't want the door that's made for the next person. What door has Stefon's name on it? What door has my destiny behind it? You know, that's why it's so important that I and myself in this process.
Right.
And then for the people that are looking up to you, coming behind you, you're going to be an inspiration to people, whether you know it or not, whether they ever tell you or not. And somebody's going to look at you and say, because you felt comfortable enough to be you and to do you, that gave them the inspiration they needed to be them. And to go forward and be comfortable in their own skin, with their own look, with their own sound. So whatever you do in life, whatever door you're trying to bust down, whatever impact you're trying to make, make sure you're authentic to self. So that way you can grow and nourish properly. It's important.
Y'all. Stefon's over here touching my whole soul. And we ain't even eating.
We ain't even eating. We will be next time, though.
Yes, because I want my plate.
Don't worry. Next time, I'm going to come in here. Y'all, yeah.
I'm going to have to be eating some food next time, y'all. I'm excited. But no, wow. Be your true, authentic self. Be your
true, authentic self.
I love
what you have to offer is good enough. It's enough.
Yes.
It really is. You know, everybody has their own belief system. But I believe that I was made on purpose.
Right.
With a purpose.
Right.
To be exactly who I am. I was created to be exactly who I am. And the changes that need to be made along the path, they'll happen.
Right.
You know, I'll grow. We evolve.
Right.
You know, but my Creator created me in His likeness and in His image. And when He got done with me, He said, now who am I to decide that what He put before me ain't good enough?
Right.
It's good enough.
Right.
Yeah. Don't let society tell you what you should look like, sound like, walk like, and talk like.
Right.
Be true to self. Be authentic. Yes. That is so much more fulfilling.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Don't compromise yourself for any dollar amount. Don't do it. Because there's people out there with all the money in the world. And they are unfulfilled. Not happy. Not authentically happy.
That is so true.
I'm trying to tell you. And I've been the kind of person, I've had money. But I also have been the person with money that felt like I had to wear a mask too. To keep that money coming in. And it wasn't it. It didn't serve me the way I needed it to. So I didn't get out of it what I needed to. So be your authentic self. With all else fails, be yourself. And that'll attract your tribe. That'll attract so yeah, like I was just saying, like when you're your authentic self, there's things in life that we are purposed to do, and there are things in life that are purposed for us. And so the things that are purposed for us won't be able to find us if we're not true to who we are. And when they do find us and they come knocking at our door, we won't even want to let it in because we don't recognize it for what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so be yourself. Love what you love. And do it wholeheartedly. And don't let people's opinions of you and what people are going to think and say, don't let that determine what you do and how you do life. Because guess what? Whether you do it or whether you don't, people are going to still be people. So get out there and be authentic to yourself. Okay? If you want to wear red every day, wear red every day. Because that's what speaks to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just be you. Be you. And that way, you know, people can love you for the you that you are, not the you that you're trying to be.
Hold up, y'all. Wait a second. What?
Yeah.
Y'all, we be preaching.
Trying to tell you.
We don't church. We in church.
It matters. My circle, and my core and my tribe, I love those people.
Right.
And those people love me without a shadow of a doubt. They do. And those are the people that hold me accountable. Those are the people that push me, that get behind me.
Right.
So, you know, and those people love Stefon for who he is at his core.
Right.
Who he is at his base level. And when you find that, that's a beautiful thing. Because you realize that it's not the quantity of people, it's the quality. If you have 2 or 3 good people, or 1 or 2, listen, you got enough. You got what you need.
Right.
So, but you get to that quality when you're authentic, you know. Because if I come in here, oh man, I'm about the life. I just cars, money, A, B, C, and D.
Exactly.
Guess what I'm gonna attract? People with that same mindset.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with cars and money.
Mm-hmm.
But that's surface level stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you beneath that? Because
Right.
that's where it's going on.
Right.
It's like the iceberg effect. You only get 10% of the iceberg above water. You still got this 90% underwater. And that's the part you got to look out for. Because that's the part that's going to either make or break or cause the damage or not, right? That was the issue with the Titanic.
Right.
It wasn't what they could see, it's what they couldn't see. So that's what we have to be in life. We have to be able to emote what people can't see. But even what I can feel it though. I can feel if you're genuine.
Right.
I can feel if you're, nice or nasty.
Right.
It's a real thing. People really out there, y'all. The energy.
Wow.
Energy, when you put it out there, it has to come back and meet you. So be wise of what you're putting out there. Even your words that you speak, life and death are in the power of the tongue. That's why they tell you, watch your mouth. Watch what you say. Because that stuff, when you put it out there, it has to come back and meet you. You put authenticity out there, it has to come back and meet you. It has to. Yep.
Ooh, y'all see why the name of his business is the Soul Chef. But he not just touching souls through the food. He touching them in the words. We not even eating.
We ain't even eating. Imagine if we were breaking bread right now. How much? Come on now. That's why I said next time don't even worry about it.
I'm patiently waiting for my plate. Patiently waiting. Y'all hear me?
Right. Yeah.
Wow. That is deep.
That's me in a nutshell.
Y'all, my soul is, baby, look, it is touched, okay? Super touched. Well, Stefon, we want to thank you so much for coming through on the Glow Talk today, for dropping this amazing insight that you have dropped on not only me, on the people watching. We also want to thank you so much for just coming through and giving us a little insight into what you do, who you are, why do you do it, because that's what it's about. It's about empowering other people, being a positive light to other people as well. And you have definitely been that today, so we thank you so much for that. Thank you for your positivity and great energy, great vibes. Definitely. One last thing.
Yes.
Where can everybody find you on social media?
So I can be found on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. The @ The Soul Chefs.
Okay.
THA for that though. The Soul Chefs, or even if you Google it, Google hashtag The Soul Chefs, and one of those social media platforms will pop up.
Okay.
So yeah, they can find me. If you just want to search by my government name, you can also find me that way as well. I do put content on my personal pages as well.
Okay.
But yeah, those 3 platforms: YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook.
Oh, okay. There's also a new social media platform that is out there by the name of Clubhouse.
Absolutely.
That is actually how we got connected, everybody.
Yes.
So, would you want people to come and follow you on there as well, or
Please
just strictly?
do.
Okay.
Please do. And I'm not one of those people that don't follow back. I will follow back. I will spam your account. I'm here for the support,
Right.
for the uplifting. Even if you provide a service that I don't need,
Right.
I will still like, share, and comment. That's really what it's about.
Right.
So yes, if you want to find me on Clubhouse, Instagram, any of that, I'm open to it. Awesome. Yeah, and plus just the networking opportunities that come from that. If I can't use your service, I know somebody that can.
Right, exactly.
So absolutely.
Okay. And your Clubhouse is at the Soul Chefs as well?
You know what? Let me check that.
Okay.
Because I don't even know
Hey, no worries.
what my Clubhouse handle is. I've never had to tell anybody. Right?
Yeah.
So my Clubhouse handle is @I am the Soul Chef.
Okay.
All one word.
Okay.
Yeah, @I am the Soul Chef.
All right. Well, everybody that's out there watching this right now, make sure you guys get tapped in and get connected with Stefon, chef and licensed caterer at The Soul Chef on all social media platforms except for Clubhouse. It is @I am Soul Chef. So yes, make sure you guys tap in with him. He has came through and dropped some amazing gems, amazing insight, amazing human being that is sitting to the left of me. Wow, I'm still taken aback by all of this. I want to thank all of you at home for watching today's episode. It is greatly appreciated. And you know, we're just on here glowing and growing every single day. And thank you guys once again so much, and we will see you on the next episode of the Glow Talk. Bye.